Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum.
How are you, Angela?
I'm good. How are you, Sofia?
I'm good, alhamdulillah. Just breathing a little bit more and feeling less hot. What a relief. And it's a little bit greener as well because it's rained.
Alhamdulillah for the rain. I promised myself not to complain about the rain again. Inshallah.
Really? Yeah, the same.
Because we complain too much and then you realize
what a
we
blessing
really
it is.
need it.
You understand much more about, this encouragement in Islam to make dua when it rains.
Yeah.
Because even if we have a bit too much of it in England, we think, what a difference when you come, you see even your garden being completely, scorched yellow.
We basically complain about having too many blessings when we complain about the rain.
And then it rains for a day or two and it's all green again and you breathe. Anyway, we digress because today I'm so excited today because we get to talk about my passion.
Favorite topic about martial arts, specifically Taekwondo.
Yeah, so in the first hour, we're going to have a series of guests which we hope you'll enjoy listening to. And all of them are doing Taekwondo, mashallah. And then
they're all females.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know how amazing that is.
Yeah. And then in the second hour, we'll be talking more in general about martial arts, the different types of martial arts, the benefits, physical, mental, my journey through Taekwondo as well, how I came to do that. But in the first hour, we will just leave the floor and the mic open to our guests. And we're going to start with Imaan and Zara, who are two teen girls who are doing Taekwondo, and they're my students, so they're my favorites of mine. They're really lovely.
Is she a really good teacher? Please tell us the truth now on the radio. Is she really good?
So, Imaan.
I think that Miss is actually a really good teacher. She is one of my favorite teachers. And I'm not just saying that. The reason why I'm saying that is because she's strict, yes, but she's also fair, and the way she teaches Taekwondo, it helps it stick in your head, and it's actually really enjoyable.
Mashallah.
I mean, me and Zara went to a Taekwondo class before this, and we 100% prefer this Taekwondo, Mrs. Taekwondo, over the previous one that we went to, just because of the inclusiveness.
Oh, mashallah. And Zara?
I really like the way you teach. You're probably my favorite teacher. Literally, my favorite teacher out of everybody that I've had. I don't want to name names, but even in my school, you're a way better teacher. Even though I go there,
Mashallah.
but still you're a nicer teacher. But, and also when we went to that Taekwondo, the other one that we used to go to, the teacher, he didn't I'm not gonna name names, but he didn't really he didn't really he wasn't that close. He just used to teach us, but he didn't actually understand us. And when we go to your Taekwondo class, it just feels more close, and it feels like you have a sense of belonging when you go to this one.
Very nice. I'm very,
Mashallah.
very pleased to hear. Just as a side note before I move on to Mom Sofia, this is what I was taught by my own instructor. My own instructor is like this. The idea of creating a family, it's not just you just turn up, do your practice and then go home. You create this sort of rapport with people. There's a love and a connection and a bond that you develop as well through the practice of whatever it is. So for me, it's really, really important, and I'm glad to hear, and you're really thrilled to hear that basically he's managed to pass on that style of teaching to me. But also, this is my nature. I'm kind of very bubbly, very warm. I'm not I don't think I'll ever be able to be different anyway. But it really suits me as well. So alhamdulillah, I'm very pleased to hear that it's working, especially with the teens. It's not the same as someone your own age. So glad to hear. So we will prepare our next grading just a little bit later then, huh? So, Mum, Sofia. Alaikum salam. So tell us about you and how come you girls are doing Taekwondo?
Like Imaan and Zara have said, I'm really all for girls being active, especially as Muslim girls, hijab wearing Muslim girls. I don't want them to fall into the stereotype of just being at home. Within the perimeters of Islam, I think girls can do anything, and that's my mindset in my home.
Yep.
That girls should be able to do everything that is available to them so long as it's within the boundaries of Islam. So Taekwondo was at the top of that. We used to go to a different class, like they've said, and one of the things, the teachers were brilliant there too. Unfortunately, because of the age ranges that they were dealing with, my girls were older, so I wanted them to have a sense of belonging outside of school too, to understand that you can have multiple identities and multiple belongings, because that's the world we live in. So they needed to have that. Unfortunately, they found nobody their own age in that class. So when we heard about your class and said it was girls and teen upwards, oh, it was such a relief. And I remember sitting outside thinking, please God, let it be what it says, you know, on the advert, let it be that. And when the girls came back, they were thrilled, truly thrilled, because there's a variety of girls and they're all their age and older. So
Zara is now among the youngest.
Yeah, and it was amazing to hear that, because they came home saying, oh my goodness, the teacher is so strict. Mama, you will love her. They said, she reminds us of you, that she's brilliant, but she's strict. And the girls, we love it. And they actually go back, even though they saw that after the first time, both of them did not once say, we don't want to go. And as a mum, to hear that and see that they are there on their own, they need this as a self-defense anyway, you know. They've got to be part of, I can't be with them wherever they go. And as they're growing, their independence will start growing, their lifestyle will grow too. So to have this discipline, belonging, and as a self-defense is vital. It's not...
Exactly. I mean, what I can see in my daughter, who's now nearly 17, she's been doing it for 12 years. And when you're that age, 11, 12, 13, 14, you know, you think you're still spending a lot of time at the school, mom, dad, driving you places, etc. And then there's an age where you actually start taking public transport, or you want to go and do, you know, a bit of shopping. And she goes out in our locality to do shopping, or then sometimes she even goes to Manchester. And she's also taller, so that reassures me. She's taller than me, so that's good, but you know, it's quite easy to do. But the fact that I know she's aware of her surroundings, she's got that sort of sixth sense really, of peripheral vision, kind of being aware that could be someone behind her, and there's someone who looks a bit odd, that one, I'm going to cross the road. You know, what I always teach you is the first line of self-defense is do not be in the wrong place. So if there's anything you feel like is not right, just move away, go away, or don't be late at night somewhere where, you know, potentially could be a problem. But then also have very good fitness, because running is the second best self-defense, is running away, etc. It's only as a last resort that potentially what you've been taught can help. But again, it takes years and years of practice. Of, you know, I always tell them, you know, don't think you can just all of a sudden after a few months like put someone on the floor, especially when it's a tall, broad, strong man. Even with that technique, you know, they can overpower you very quickly. So there's lots of things you can do before to protect yourself as a self-defense. So it's as a parent, it's reassuring. As teens as well, it's reassuring to know that you're not just going to walk in the street like, just like not really aware of anything that goes on around
but
you.
But they're good, like doing this is
your body's conditioned.
Yeah, and you're being a role model too, because you're going to tell your friends, they're going to tell their moms. And more girls will do it,
and we have,
because we need it.
Yeah, we have, Mom. I mean, I know you couldn't join because you were expecting your fourth child, mashallah. But we have a lot of families where it's the mom, the daughters, the sister, like it's a whole family coming.
I think that's really, really amazing, and it's brilliant to see that that's what you're doing, because as your daughters grow up, you know, they do find their own life, they have their own interests. But if you have something where it's putting you through your paces as well as a parent, then your children can relate to you more, and they can laugh at you as well and understand that you're still learning. I think that's really important, to have an experience together where you're all starting from this square one, and then you've got something more to share. And because it's physical as well, the frustrations you can have in modern life, there's not enough outlets. And I think with my girls, they would like to talk about that.
Yes, go ahead, we're listening.
Definitely, when Taekwondo is like one of the only times in the week where I can really let out my frustration that you've been building up. Especially, I remember earlier on this year when I had tests going on and I was stressed out because I had to revise. I was having all these exams, and then I went to Taekwondo, and when we were training with the pads that we punch on, then I remember me and Zara were just punching as hard as we could, just letting out all the anger and frustration, and it's really good. It's a really good stress relief, and I was really grateful for that.
That's brilliant. You're just like going through my notes, it seems, of all the benefits of martial arts. Zara, did you have
something that I really like when I was first gonna join? I really like that it's not first thing in the morning, because like I don't want to start like just I don't want to wake up and get out straight away. The fact that it's at 7 p.m. is just so nice.
So after the whole day
it's a nice way to finish the day.
I agree. I also like things in the evening where you can, and sometimes even I go, I'm so tired, I'm thinking, how am I going to even manage to, let alone lift my leg to do a kick, but just even start the warm-up, because I'm just so sleepy. And as soon as I reach, go into the class, either teaching you or my own training, just moving around wakes me up. And it has this really amazing, we keep on talking about it in this show, how beneficial exercise is in all sorts of levels, but it just makes you breathe better. It makes all the circulation of oxygen around.
My husband calls it the WD-40.
Yes, the WD definitely.
It makes your joints, after you exercise, your joints become more
looser, definitely, because you've got so much more blood into that. So that's a really, really good way of keeping it. That's in the second hour. We'll go into many more details about all the different benefits of just different martial arts. Because
I think I'd just like to add, because we are in Manchester, and you guys were talking about the rain earlier. Because it does rain, outdoor activities can't be done all the time in a safe environment, especially in the evenings. It's just not happening with young girls.
It's dark,
around
it's dark early.
And I think that's why I would recommend something like Taekwondo Martial Arts, because it's indoors. One of the things my girls love about it, which I'm surprised they've not mentioned, because that was the first thing Zara said, and Imaan, where because it's girls only.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So they should be saying that, because you said that.
Go ahead. So this aspect of being just among girls, Zara, do you want to start?
The thing that I really enjoy is the fact that how safe it is, because you can take off your hijab, because I feel reassured that as a community and as a family, we're gonna we're looking out for each other as well as being in the class. It just makes you feel safe, and the fact that the door is always it makes sure that nobody can look in it. It's really reassuring.
Yeah. And Imaan?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the fact that when you go in, because it's girls only, you can then remove your headscarf. You can, you don't have that, because I remember in our previous Taekwondo, especially in because it's a closed room, and the room we went to before was really stuffy, and we had our headscarves on, and it was really uncomfortable, because obviously you're sweating as you're doing all these exercises. And then when you take your headscarf off and you have your hair back, and because it's a safe environment and it's girls only, then it's just a really nice feeling being able to take your headscarf off.
It creates a bond as well among the group.
It shows what you really look like.
Yes, exactly.
So the hair has to be done.
You can't. Yes, exactly. You can't hide your bad hair day.
Yeah.
But this is one thing. As I train, as you know, my main training is done in a mixed class. I started like you in a ladies only class. Then it was not enough. I wanted more classes, and then I was taking my children anywhere to their own training. So I was like, wow, I'm starting to learn all these cool moves and stuff, and I'm sitting on the chair watching them having fun. No. I'm going to train as well. And the advantage of martial arts is that it has, you wear this uniform, it's got large trousers, long tunic. Excuse me. So it's fairly modest. And you can find now really good sports hijab that are weaker moisturizing.
It just goes to show more women are Muslim women are in sports now, because
in our
all
club,
these things are available for
in
us
our
now.
club, where I train, the mixed club, I don't know, 60% now, 70%, because a lot of them are my friends, came over the years. We are Muslim, so our instructor has always been very, very open, very inclusive, and we all feel very comfortable. He makes arrangements when we train in Ramadan to change a bit the training to make more technical rather than fitness, etc. So I know exactly what you mean, to be able to go then also in an environment, because all day long we have this hijab and alhamdulillah we're all happy to wear it, it's not the issue, but we also do want sometimes just chill and do something different without the scarf, and I'm very pleased that we could find this room to do that. Definitely. So if anyone's wondering actually where this is all taking place,
Where? It's not at your dojo?
I have maybe eventually dojang.
Oh, dojang.
Yeah, because it's Korean, not Japanese, but that's a new word for you.
Yeah, dojang.
And it's I've got one class. I'm not going to give too many details. You can find that out through my email. But it's one class in Sale on Monday nights, and one class in Wally Range on Sundays at 12. So if anyone's interested, you can email me.
Of course, it's not midnight 12. It's
no, 12 lunchtime. Imagine. They do that in the Muslim world when it's really, really hot. They train really late. But my email is saflosana@gmail.com. SAFLOSANA, saflosana@gmail.com. And again, if you've not managed to catch it, it will be on our YouTube channel, Wellness with Angela and Sofia.
Or send an email at the radio station, BMHC.
So it's info@heritageradio.co.uk.
Yeah, but it is at BMHC. So if nothing else, you can look
exactly.
at BMHC.
Go on the website
and figure it out that way.
So moving on, there was something we wanted to ask about, which is kind of broadening up a bit.
What do you guys think of PE in school? Like, how is it going? Like, is it enough? Is it not enough?
I think school is actually quite good when it comes to PE, because they have a wide variety. We've done, in the past year, I've done athletics, we've done rounders, we've done dodgeball.
What is athletics to a Canadian like me? Doesn't mean anything.
Athletics, it's just the 800-meter sprint.
Okay.
100-meter sprint.
Long jump.
Yeah, long jump, things like that. And then also we've been doing inclusion sports as well, which is
what is it?
Such as bocce, which is where you roll balls. It's the kind of sports that you'd find in maybe the Paralympics and those type of sports, which include everybody. And we've been doing those type of sports. I prefer the more competitive sports, like rounders. What
is rounders? Sorry, I'm asking maybe questions that are
softer version of baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Rounders.
Softball.
I really enjoy rounders. I'm in the rounders team. It's amazing. And
so are you Zara and Imaan? Were you both like would you consider yourself as very sporty naturally, or not really that much inclined, but you found ways of making yourself more sporty? Like, say the girls listening or moms listening to us, oh my girl, she's not like this, she's not sporty. How about you?
So like I am actually sporty, but not because it's been my first year going to high school, and I don't want to get too specific, but one of our teachers, he's male, which kind of puts me off, because the class that I'm in, my teacher's female, but normally we join up with that class, and he's male, and so it kind of puts me off, because he's just there and he's always watching, and like
you feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, because he's there, so it's like I can still do it, but it just makes me want to do less because he's there.
I see what you mean. So. You kind of check yourself in terms of how it would look. Yeah, it's a bit like me when we've got to do some specific stretching. I have to kind of turn my back to the wall or something. You kind of find ways of.
That was my main reason for not quitting the gym, because I wanted to do Zumba, and I thought Zumba, when I joined, it was full of girls. There was two two guys at the back, and I kept looking and thinking,
So
I won't be able to enjoy this class at all.
Yeah. How about you, Imaan? Then you consider yourself a sport? You said you were competitive.
Yeah, I'm extremely competitive.
I think
love
that runs
sport.
in the family.
I think I'm a naturally sporty person because sport is kind of my outlet, because I'm an anxious person and I worry about tests a lot and I revise a lot, and so therefore sport is my outlet, a way to get all that pent up anxiety and stress out, and so I'm naturally sporty. I'm part of teams. My favourite sport is volleyball, although I'm afraid it's not taekwondo, but I really like taekwondo as well, but my favourite sport is volleyball. And I do lots of sports. I go to extracurricular.
So what other sports do you do?
I do rounders, I play dodgeball as well, badminton. I'm on the rounders team, but rounders and volleyball and taekwondo are my three main sports I like doing.
It's good because they're all quite different.
Yeah.
And they give you different taekwondo is
Variety.
It's not really a team sport. It's more kind of your own individual progression. But you can obviously practice obviously with other people.
Yeah.
But the other two are team sports, but with different approaches and different physically demanding in different ways.
Definitely. I used to play cricket as well, but I think I moved from cricket onto rounders now because rounders is I just prefer that.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's less structured in a sense. It's got some structure, but at the same time you've got this moment where you have to really sprint. And
definitely.
So I know what I can ask you next time. I can all this sprinting back and forth. How about you, Zara? What sports do you like?
My favourite sport is definitely dodgeball. Like I just love it's just just not in a I don't want to sound too like aggressive, but the moment when you get somebody out because you've hit them, it's just so like it's so nice,
satisfying.
It's so satisfying because like with me, my personality, I actually get like angry easily. I'm not gonna lie, I get angry easily. So that moment of hitting somebody with a dodgeball and they get out and they just like, and then they just, that stare that they give you once they're out, it's just like yeah I did that. It's just so amazing.
I can relate to that. So tell me, Mum, Sofia, is that something that runs in the family, sports?
I think so from my side. I enjoy being active, so I, even when they were younger, we bike ride as a family, especially in the lockdown. I had never ridden a bike on the road, and when lockdown happened there was the five of us, because sometimes I wasn't born then, so the five of us, the family, you'd see us just cycling around, you know, and we'd play rounders as well as a family, just running around, getting outside, walking. I love walking, and I used to walk at a very fast pace. So I think generally football as well. That's sort of
football. What do you mean, soccer?
Yes,
soccer.
Okay.
So you have another son, don't you? Like you have to, obviously a baby, but
so I've got two girls
and then two boys.
And two boys.
So your younger brother, is he like you?
He's very sporty as well. He goes to cricket. When we just before we go taekwondo, he goes cricket, and then we come to taekwondo, and he does is it what martial art does he do?
He's a team captain
Jiu-jitsu.
as well in
Jiu-jitsu.
Oh, jiu-jitsu. Yeah, that's one of the ones where we're talking about. Brilliant.
We're a sporty family.
Yes, very good. It's nice to hear. And I've got my theory about genes as well. Like, you know, they are passed on. It's not just all like, oh, I just like happen to be sporty. There's like a line, like
I think you're right. There's things you can inherit, and there's also things where, and because children and parents are listening to this, I would say to the mums like myself, in an age where it's all about phones, it's all about sitting down, it's all about looking at screens, I think it's really important, whether you're sporty yourself or not, for the sake of your kids as parents, you have to go out of your comfort zones and getting your children, especially your girls, your boys as well, but they're more likely to go out.
I think naturally we kind of say, oh yeah, boys, they need to do sports, they need to do this. But girls, no, they don't. They're just happy to. And I was very pleased to teach two summer camps here in Victoria Park Central Mosque and in Bolton Council of Mosques. Mashallah, they both asked me to do a Taekwondo camp So 1 hour a week, 1 hour. So they both have 4 sessions of Taekwondo, and I really praise them for doing this for the girls. And before that, they did archery and something like that. So it was like, yes, great for including the girls, not just pigeonholing them into, oh, you need to do, you know, calm things, reading, writing, calligraphy, arty, because some of the girls are really not interested in that stuff. They really want to play football and
But there has to be a revival of it with the mums, I think, where they do encourage their girls, they do put that extra effort in, because the support has to come from home. My girls couldn't do half the things they do outside if my husband and I weren't supporting them.
Yes,
they just wouldn't be able to do
absolutely.
it. So,
you need to be there to take them. Absolutely.
And I think that also, even if you do like art and like drawing, like I myself really like drawing and art and writing as well, but I think even if you do like that stuff, it's also good to get out and do sports. You don't have to confine yourself just to, oh yes, I'm an arty, I'm a sitting down type of person, or
you shouldn't just give yourself a stereotype, especially because you're a girl.
Or I'm a sporty type of person. It should be that you're more complex than that. Like as a girl, as a woman, you are like a more complex being. Like you can like sports, you can like art, you can
shouldn't
like
just be locked
sewing.
away.
Exactly. So you can like all of these stuff, and I think it's really good for girls, teenagers especially, because in this day and age we're all about going on our phones, going on social media. I think it's really good to get out and do sports and just have that outlet where you can have a community, like in Taekwondo, how we have essentially a family now.
Brilliant. I loved hearing from you, all of your thoughts, and thank you so much for your time, Zara and Imaan, and Mom Sofia.
Thank you for having us.
No, it was great. I was very pleased to see that you were so keen to come and share your passion for Taekwondo, for sports in general, and encourage the girls out there. And inshallah, so I'll see you on Monday night.
Inshallah.
To do some more good practice. Well done, you're doing very well, I have to say. Dedication, you see it straight away, and you'll progress, inshallah, very, very well. I have another of my students who's Rozie. This time she's not a teen, although she wishes.
I just look like a teen. That's
exactly.
all. I wish.
But isn't our body a bit different when we start doing this type of exercises and movements? So, Rozie, tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm a mature lady, I would say. Just gone over the teen bit, and yes, I work full time. I'm a teacher, and yes, coming to Taekwondo actually was quite a daunting task. It was nothing like what I expected it to. The one thing that was really good, was inspiring, was seeing Safiya, actually knowing that she is kind of about the similar age, and it was an inspiration that she was a trainer at her age, in the nicest possible, most respectful way, and I thought we would just learn moves, and then Safiya, showed us her true colours, and we had this sort of we were tormented with the highest level of physical endurance and gruesome exercise techniques. But it was actually after the first few times I would dread coming back. But at the same time I was excited, because I thought, if anyone is actually going to make me get fitter, it's going to be Safiya. And bit by bit I realised some of those moves I could do, and actually it's been amazing, because it's quite empowering, inspirational, and it's empowering on so many levels as a woman, as an older woman, showing that actually I can make carry out certain moves that I never thought were possible, discovering muscles where you never knew existed. I never knew of their existence. And on a female level, it's empowering knowing that you could actually be able, if ever there was a situation, you would be able to defend yourself. So it's quite good. And my young teenage daughters have been inspired by some of the moves that I've made, and they're nowhere near as good as Safiya's. What Safiya has demonstrated, but they have been, nevertheless, they've been inspired, and they will be coming from September, inshallah. So will I.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm really happy to hear like how a mom's inspiring the younger girls, because often it's like me, you see your children do it, it's like I really want to do that as well. Whereas this time around, it's the opposite. Is you started doing it, and your girls are like, oh, hold on a minute, mom's doing this. I'm missing something.
Yeah.
You know, it's maybe I should too.
Well, initially I didn't even tell them because they might just sort of mock me and like, oh, Taekwondo, Mom, you and Taekwondo. So, you know, I just didn't tell them. And then after 6 weeks, after I learnt a few sort of moves, I kind of told them, and they sort of giggled and didn't, you know, in disbelief. And then I showed them a few moves, and they were quite, although they didn't say it, they were quite sort of impressed, and I think they want to come and do that.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's such a wonderful sort of you know, project for women just in the community, and women on a whole, and women of every ages, you know, different ages, bringing us all together and sort of aspiring for the same goals. It's really good. It's on so many levels. On the community level, because how often do, you know, we kind of meet as community members with younger, older, you know, that unfortunate, that sort of, because of the social breakdown or things with people's lives, we don't have that kind of situation where people meet. So it's a really good social thing as well, in terms of, you know, being exposed to different age groups. I'm a teacher, so I do have exposure to younger children.
But you're not in a situation where you learn with them, you teach them.
Absolutely.
And it's very rare to be with different ages so we have ages from 10 to
absolutely,
you know, 40, 50. All training, learning, all at beginner levels, so no one is, and you know, put before or after.
No, absolutely
someone.
not. No.
And it really is humbling as an adult.
It's for, for the kids too.
For the younger ones.
I think it's good to see kids. They see elders doing
struggling.
Struggling
like myself.
Then they kind of like don't see you as, I don't know how they see us sometimes, like the enemy or the bad guy.
But also
That's
when
good.
you send your children to school and everything, you don't kind of take part in their learning as much. You might help afterwards or something, but it's not, you're not with them.
You go through that process of learning and engaging and actually trying to develop certain skills and actually understanding the struggles that, you know, the barriers that, you know, you're encountering and experience those same barriers. And so actually it brings you together, and you know, that is, and sometimes the youngsters get it quicker than the older ones, and you know, so
sometimes
it
the opposite.
It puts us on a level playing field, and actually it's really good. It's good on a social level as well, and yes, there's more equity in that, in terms of we're on a level playing field, and we've all started at the same kind of level.
Yeah, exactly. And I find as well to for the younger generation to see you can learn at any age. Don't think because
that's a very
you've reached a certain age, or you're a mom, or you're working, or you're an adult, that's it, you finished learning. No way, you know. And you can, like me, I'm a prime example. I'll talk about it more in the second hour. I was not sporty, and certainly I admired people who did martial art. I was drawn towards it as a, you know, to as an achievement. I thought it was amazing, people who could be, you know, black belts and anything, but I never ever thought I could ever be that person.
Well, I grew up, you know, Bruce Lee was my kind of idol. I always wanted to do, I used to pretend in the mirror doing these moves and things.
So you always had like that?
I had that, but I never thought, oh, you know, I could, you know, I did kickboxing for a few days, and then it just wasn't, you know, I ended up giving up, because my life is, my, you know, schedule is just so tight and so busy, and I thought to myself, I won't be able to do this. And obviously a friend kind of was going there, and so that kind of motivated me a little bit more. And when I signed up for those 6 weeks, and initially I was thinking, oh my God, what have I signed myself up for? But I came back for more, and yes, it's just, it is, you know, age is just a number, and you know, you can do anything. I think seeing you, and seeing actually your other trainer, I've forgotten her name. Master Anne. That was even more, that just reinforced that. The fact that actually, you know, you don't have to be a particular age. You can, you know, if where there's a will, there's a way, and you can achieve anything, and age shouldn't restrict you in any way.
But I find you very inspiring, because now that you told me you're a teacher, that is amazing. Like, I know how hard teachers work, and you never like really out from school. You bring it to home, and you're making time for this.
But this is actually good. Actually,
really
therapy.
great.
This is actually quite therapeutic in the sense that actually you're not only learning some skills, but physically, the physical endurance helps you get fitter, but also it helps you mentally and spiritually in terms of it. That, like they say, that go on walks and do things, clears your head, and actually that's quite sort of de-stressing for me.
Definitely. I find that when I go through the double doors of, like I always call it, the double doors of the training hall, the dojang, I leave everything behind. I'm not a wife, I'm not a mother, I'm not even, whatever professional I can be. I'm just a student.
Yeah.
I'm not my age. Obviously, your body will limit you. Like, you're young, your body will limit you in certain ways and allow you to do other things. And like as an adult, your body will limit you in certain ways and allow you to do other things in a certain way. But it's really completely removing all of these tags and jobs and roles, and you're just there to learn.
And when you're not conforming to stereotypes and things, and sort of you're not being pigeonholed. You're all together, and no one's looking down at you. And actually, that self-belief. Usually the age or those stereotypes hinder a person's ability to try different things, or even they'll say, I can't do this, I can't do it because I'm that age. Actually, even a youngster, if you have not sort of used those muscles, it's difficult. So what it does show is that actually with work and training, you can develop those muscles no matter, and everyone needs that.
Yeah, exactly. It's like learning English and practicing.
That's growth mindset, which, believe it or not, a lot of young people don't have a growth mindset. They think, I'm the way I am and that's it. They don't believe they can change.
But especially with social media and sort of kind of pressures put on girls to look at behave a particular way, it just kind of dispels all those myths and dispels all those sort of pressures on people that you've got to conform to this, that. Actually, no, be yourself. And I would love to to get a black belt or something, and that would be like getting the Nobel Peace Prize or something. It
does feel like this.
It's just it's so self-fulfilling. I think that's what
I cried the day I was given my belt. My instructor, I nearly set him off as well, and I said, you don't realise what this means to me. Like, it's like a lifelong dream.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just the last 10 years of practicing. I still get like emotional about it. It was such an absolutely awesome moment.
But it's that growth, isn't it? It's personal growth as well. In that there are so many levels of development in this, and they sort of correlate, or kind of they're on a parallel with your own life. So your own struggles, the struggles that you have trying to learn certain moves and making muscles work and making sure they're not jammed, all those things, and then moving one step ahead. It's kind of life skills in a way, and having that perseverance and commitment and thinking, right, not giving up. So you learn so many different things which you could use, that they're transferable skills to everyday life which you can apply. And I think it's really good for
Exactly.
I absolutely love it, and you know what? Everyone should just sign up, give it a go, and you know what? Just keep on at it, persevere, and you will. Yes, you'll have times. I've had to take time off because I've gone away or whatever. You'll have times, but do not. I'm having withdrawal symptoms. Do not.
Well, you know what to do. You can practice some of the basic,
but
the basic patterns. So.
Safia is a slave driver. I'm just going to warn you. Yes, she will get the whip out. She takes no prisoners. But do you know what? Hey, you are going to be 100% fitter in mind, body, and spirit. So hey, go ahead and just enroll.
Yeah, and this is the thing in Taekwondo, and all martial arts have their own sort of principles, but in Taekwondo we've got five tenets: courtesy, so it teaches you respect; integrity, so you're not going to lie and start being an awful person; perseverance, very, very strong one, so don't give up at the slightest hurdle, because you will have setbacks, you will have moments where your body gives up and it's like, no, that's it, I can't do that. And plateaus as well, where you feel like you're not progressing, and you wait, and your next grading gets pushed away because you're not there yet. When is it going to happen? and it gets harder and harder, more demanding. Perseverance, and then self-control. You're not going to start using the moves and start beating everyone up for no reason. And indomitable spirit. Again, the idea of not giving up. Life is not, life is difficult.
And hey, parents get free parenting from that as well, don't they? So if they enroll their daughters, it's free parenting. It's the values that they would impart with their children anyway.
Reinforcing.
And so that's been reinforcing that, and it's yes, it's great.
Oh, well, for me it's amazing because to hear in someone else's mouth my words of love, passion, and just complete all at what this all is, and how beneficial it is.
It
on
is
so many levels.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not anywhere near as competent as Safiya probably was when she started.
You're only a baby, definitely.
But yes, I have the passion, and I love it, and Bruce Lee was my idol, so
there you go. But you see, it's like when you're a white belt, when you start, you're a beginner, you're a baby. You go through the different stages. You reach the level of black belt. Some people think that's it. I've got a black belt. I can stand. I can step back now. That's it.
But that's when you have to really work harder, eh?
Exactly. This is only getting the equivalent of your A levels. You're not going to stop there. You're going to go to university. First year, second year, third year, masters, maybe PhD. This is then after that. You're the baby of the black belt. So now I'm again at a kind of beginner level, but on another level, which is the mastery of it, which is learning to be a good instructor and learning to grow still. So I love this because I can be in my 70s. Some of them are like, in the 70s, 80s, and they're still learning, still progressing, still. So it never really stops, and that's what I love about it. You never, there's always motivated to. You're always motivated to dig deeper, and that is really, really, really
it's rewarding,
exciting.
isn't it? It's really rewarding on many levels.
You learn so much about your own body as well.
Yeah.
Its limitations, but more importantly, what you can do you never thought you could.
Yeah.
So in life, as you said, you're faced with situations where you're like, hold on a minute, I could do this. And I tell that my daughter sometimes, who's at that age 15, 16, and she was maybe 13 as well. Oh no, it's just hard, and I don't like sweating, I don't like this. But I said, look, if you were able to do this and push yourself and apply yourself in that training through those difficulties, discomforts, and it was unpleasant, it was difficult, it was whatever, then in other circumstances in your life, you'll be like, I was able to do this, therefore
you can apply it.
I can do this.
Yeah,
I've got it somewhere.
I overcame this obstacle, this challenge. I can do this, and it actually helps you become more logical and rational in terms of any sort of dilemmas that you face in real life, but it also helps you be logical, more calmer, rational. So yes, definitely, I would definitely advocate that that everybody enrolls their children, and having a female instructor. Wow, how lucky we are to have a female instructor.
It's rare.
We are very, very blessed. I considered one of the reasons I probably did back off was because there were male-dominated environments where and I didn't want it wearing hijab. I don't want to do that. Even without a hijab, I didn't feel comfortable. So yes, it's just we are very, very blessed to have you.
Do you do other sports?
I used to do a bit of kickboxing and recently, but actually I've just sort of done nothing for the last since I've come back from holiday. So,
generally speaking,
I used to go for walking. I used to love running, but again, I don't like going on my own. So
you find in TKD that you have other people around. You like being in group sports.
Yes, that's good. Yes, and having a partner. Obviously, Samara's a good partner, and I get constructive, criticism or constructive feedback, and it works both ways. And I feel that we support each other.
Yes, so, I see that a lot, and I love seeing that when even at that very, very beginner level, how you all help each other, and you're like, oh, this is how you should do it, and I just leave you to it because it's this part of the learning as well, and how we always say you learn so well from your own peers, don't you?
Absolutely.
Even more than from a teacher. So that bouncing things back and forth.
But also looking at sort of the younger, like the 17, 18-year-olds, and looking at them, how are they doing this? Yeah. Oh, and then they look at you like coming up to you thinking, and they help you, and it's not sort of looked down at or. It's not condescending in any way. It's just we're equals.
In a very caring, loving way.
Yeah,
definitely.
and so it promotes other things. It sort of support for each other without even stating it. There are so many under sort of. Kind of, what do I say? So many different levels of support going on and development that aren't obvious. So you develop friendships, you develop support, emotional and physical support, and just seeing somebody regularly as well. It's good for people in terms of mental health as well.
Yeah. Before we have a break, what would you advise others who are listening?
Go and sign up. That's what I would say. Get your girls involved. Sign up. Even though it will fill the hall, and I would rather have more space, I would say go ahead and sign up, because you know what, this is it's a unique opportunity. It's just a brilliant opportunity. It's so close by. You've got wonderful surroundings to come. There's parking, everything. There's absolutely no excuse.
That's true. So that's for the Whalley Range location. We're having. We're resuming in September, and so you can email me at saflosana@gmail.com, and remember, you can also email the radio station, and we'll put all the details under our YouTube audio when we upload it in a couple of weeks. But yeah, and I think what you were saying about also starting as an adult, the two instructors that came to replace me when I was away, so you had Master Anne and you had Master Jackie. Both of them learned as adults. Master Jackie was just like 18 or something when she started. Master Anne was 37, 35. So again, they had Master Anne had her two boys doing it, and that's what prompted her to do it. And it just shows, that you can have any age, but as adults, and what I like when you also interacting with other adults, learning it as an adult, is that we all had to think a lot about all of the techniques and how we compute it in our head before it actually goes into our bodies. Whereas the youngsters, often they just copy. Yeah. But they've not had to go through that process of understanding. It's just come naturally by just imitating and not necessarily understanding. Just that's how it's done. That's my leg has to do this, and so to have all of these ages together and the different instructors sometimes coming in with the different approaches. Methods, I know one of them, Master Jackie, she loves her fitness and the stretching. Master Anne, she loves her kicking. I love the basics, the hand movement, the blocks, the punches, the all of this. And it's really kind of all ties in very nicely together. Definitely, I'm very blessed to have their support when I'm unable to, which generally not very often, but it does happen. I do also have my occasional holidays, thank God. But it's something I love teaching you guys. It's fun. Is this something I always said when even early on when I started? It's like, I will take this to the community. I will become an instructor and I will teach.
And you've answered my prayer, because I always wished for a female instructor. So yeah,
it's amazing.
Do you know, I have no excuse. It's just round the corner, and you know what, ladies, you will make time. I have got the most craziest schedule.
If the teacher can do it,
yes.
I have 5 children. I have a mother-in-law that I look after, an elderly mother, so and I have other projects, and in between that, if I can find, it's just 1 hour a week, or at most 2 hours a week. You can do it. If you have the will, come in and check it out. Try it for about 2 to 3 weeks. Honest to God, you will.
It takes a little while for the body to get used to something new. So don't think like the first time, like you were saying, it's like you were dreading it originally, but then your body got used to it, and you're like, oh, I can actually do it.
Yeah,
and yes, it's going to be my muscles will ache, but
aching is good.
Exactly,
you're growing. It's showing you that actually you've worked those muscles, so it's a positive thing. It may feel a little bit uncomfortable, but it's definitely worth it. So go and sign up, ladies.
Well done, thank you very much. Couldn't ask for a better advertisement. That's lovely to hear. What a nice chat we had with my students. I'm just humbled about all the nice things they said, but it just shows how you can contribute. You think, oh, what I'm doing is not that important, and you realize how much of an impact what you can teach others, what you can impart on others and share with others that you're passionate about can have an impact on their lives as well, which is really nice. Really nice to see, actually. So we wanted to move on, more generally speaking, to talk about the different types of martial arts, because it's not just Taekwondo. Taekwondo is what I know. Taekwondo is basically a Korean martial art which uses, it's basically means the way to destroy and smash with the foot and the fist. So we use a series of blocks, punches, strikes, and a lot of kicks. And this is a martial art that is in the Olympics.
Well, my boys were doing martial arts, but
they were doing karate.
They were doing karate.
Yeah.
And then I know another sister who's an instructor in the south, Khadija Safari. I can't
in south
remember
of England, yeah.
Of the name of the martial arts, but you might remember.
I think she does Muay Thai.
Yeah, Muay Thai.
Yeah.
And that also
involves a lot of legs.
A lot of kicking. And martial arts just generally makes me want to do it also. But right now my body doesn't cooperate at this point. But inshallah, that's my thing. Since I was a little girl, I love martial arts.
Yeah.
I loved Wonder Woman, though she wasn't karate.
Yeah.
She was
doing a lot of
defense
moves.
Her.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So there are loads of other martial arts. And martial arts basically means, martial means army, and art a way of, and it's basically everything that has to do with combat styles, but they all have an element of ethics, morals, values that they impart. It's not just
fighting.
Yeah, exactly. It's much broader than that. And I was shocked when I researched a little bit for this show to have more information about other martial arts. I'm actually shocked. There are more than 180 different martial arts.
Isn't
Imagine
that amazing?
that's per virtually a martial art per country in the world. And it's true, some of them are very obscure and they're only found in a very small region of the world, and others have just taken the world over. So like, for instance, Taekwondo, but you have other things like Aikido, which is Japanese, and it's basically focuses on redirecting the attack away from you, and it concentrates on throwing, joint locks, traditional Japanese weapons. You have boxing is considered as a martial arts. You have something that's quite becoming very popular and famous is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is it focuses on ground fighting, like grappling. You have other things like coming from the Philippines, like Eskrima, Capoeira, which is again from Brazil, which is very acrobatic. Fencing as well, which is an Olympic sport, but it is originally a martial art, a self-defense. Hapkido, which is again another Korean martial art, which is more about punch, kicks, throws, and joint locks. You have even something from Europe, which is called historical European martial arts. And
really? I'm surprised.
Yeah, mainly sword-based martial arts based on techniques used in Europe from the 1300s to the 1800s. Judo is a very famous one, obviously, which is Japanese, grappling, joint locks and throws. You have karate, which you mentioned, which is again Japanese. It focuses on punches, hand and elbow strikes, knee strikes and kicks. And there are many different karate styles. Kendo, which is another martial arts using swords. Kung Fu is very famous, obviously, because of Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan.
Also Disney, with Kung Fu Panda.
Exactly. Kung Fu, so that's Chinese, and it focuses on hand and arm strikes, kicks, and even weapons training. You have Muay Thai, which is that's from Thailand.
I've been really inspired by Muay Thai. It's just to see women.
Yeah. It's very strong. And it's similar to kickboxing, but it also involves elbow and knee strike. Kickboxing is another one that's quite popular and famous, and it's often seen in MMA, which is mixed martial arts fighting, cage fighting. It's also called. They use any types of martial arts. There's a French one called savate. Savate means a slipper. And yes,
so the French
it's because but it's because it's like not a slipper as in like where you put your feet through or something like a slider. It's kind of used to, it's like a soft shoe, basically soft fabric shoe. That's what they used to wear, I guess, to do it. And it's French martial arts style, focused on boxing and kicking, and no knee strikes are allowed.
Is that what they used in the Three Musketeers?
No, Three Musketeers would have been fencing. And there's also wrestling. It's another martial arts. But now it's more kind of a sports and a exhibition style of sport. It focuses on grappling, throws, and pinning your opponent.
What would the ninja type of the ninjas, because they're something real, it's not just
I think
what kind of martial arts would they be doing?
Well, it's probably a mixture of everything, because it's Japanese. The ninjas are Japanese, so they would be doing obviously be doing jiu-jitsu. They will be doing judo, jujutsu as well, which is about joint locks, holds and throws. But also, the ninja are known for their art of stealth.
And the samurai?
And samurai, that's swords fighting. Yes, that's also a martial art originally, definitely, because they were the army, weren't they? Mm-hmm. So, and interestingly, you talk about ninjas. There are ninjas from Iran. There's a group of women who have developed their own sort of training to be ninjas.
Amazing.
Interestingly enough. So now, Angela, you wanted to...
Well, now we're going to talk about the mental health benefits. And this is to convince everyone to be active. Part of our aim on this show is to be more for wellness, right? And part of it, you can't get away. You need to do physical. We've been talking about different sports, and now today we're talking about mental martial arts.
Yes.
And we have to talk about the benefits. It's more than physical.
Definitely, and some of our guests earlier did say that, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. So it covers your stress relief, physical, emotional, and personal development. So let's start with a stress relief. It helps you reduce your stress when you're doing that, and anxiety. You heard the young lady who was telling us all about it. It helps you by encouraging you to practice deep breathing, meditation, and mindfulness. It helps train your mind to keep your attention focused while remaining calm and alert. And it can be especially helpful when you're trying to do multiple tasks, divide your attention. So do you have anything else to add, Sofia, other than what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that's fine. It's all good.
For some people, it gives them life purpose. I think that's more for older people who get into martial arts. Oh, I could be wrong. People who practice martial arts often feel a sense of calm, confidence, and renewed peace with who they are and their purpose in life.
Oh yes, I can definitely.
I mean,
relate
I've seen
to
the
that.
change in you over the last 10 years. Whereas with my kids, they did it. They got their black belt. They started university and then they stopped doing it.
That's very common. Yeah.
You know. Okay, so we all know about physical exercise, which helps with mental benefits. Practicing martial arts also offers a really nice boost of feel-good chemicals like endorphins that lift your mood. And as you master the craft, you'll likely get a boost in confidence. It's a great way to channel and direct your energy towards something positive that you can build on over time. I totally agree. Even watching martial arts makes me so happy, oh yeah, go. Emotional regulation. Now, I don't have that problem, but it might help others, especially younger people, right? By practicing martial arts, you can master your mind and your emotions. This can help you develop greater emotional stability, assertiveness, self-confidence, and lessen aggressive feelings. From what I've seen in my kids and you've seen in this girl and these young ladies, it also increases self-esteem.
Definitely.
And this is one of the reasons to encourage young people to get into martial arts, especially girls, because it's a mindset. It increases your self-esteem. It's the way you think. It makes all the difference, right? And just like exercise, it strengthens your body, it challenges and strengthens your mind. Martial arts also can help you by teaching you how to bounce back from setbacks and the importance of not letting life get you down, no matter how hard things get. Another benefit is it improves your personal development. It encourages you to dig deep uncover where you're stuck, and move through mental blocks. It really helps you identify what you want to improve in your life and gives you the confidence to make positive changes. I think that goes more to adults.
Yeah, and I think even children, you've seen it. You can see it, like I was saying earlier about my daughter, and it really, when you have a habit of doing something that's a bit tough and pushes you and is demanding, you don't even realize how it impacts you, but all of a sudden then you're faced with a tough exam, or you're frustrated, you get flustered because it's not the questions you expected, or you really struggle to prepare a particular topic in your subject. You approach it differently naturally. It's just your mindset's been changed without even you realizing when you do it when you're young, because you draw your body, your mind draw on that habit of going through some discomfort. Again, I was talking about plateaus earlier, when you push yourself and it's not like, your instructor tells you you've not practiced enough, or it's not the right time for you, your body's not ready, your mind's not ready, wait, you will take your grading, but not now. Others will take it because they're ready, but you're not. And going through all this is really, it makes you a lot tougher and a lot more prepared for say, as I was saying, just a simple thing like an exam that doesn't go the way you expected or you wanted.
Makes you mentally tough.
More resilient, yes, definitely. Grit, it develops your grit, definitely, very obviously, and to not give up when it becomes a little bit tough and you're like, I'm not going to do it because it doesn't go the way I want. No, don't react like this. Just continue. It'll get easier. There will be a moment where you'll go past that hurdle and you look back, you're like, wow, I'm glad I didn't give up. Because now I get it. Now it gets easier.
Also, you probably learn to respect yourself, because before you couldn't do something, you didn't think you could do it. Then you can do it, and that proves to yourself that, hey, I can do hard things, and that increases your respect for yourself, which lacks in a lot of people.
Yeah, you've got to be patient with yourself as well. Things don't always happen exactly when you want them to happen, and actually, it's good that didn't happen at that time, because you're so much more mature now. That happened to me. I wasn't stuck. I wouldn't say I was stuck in my before taking my black belt, but it kept on being pushed. We were a group taking like a handful, getting ready for black belt, and it kept on being delayed and delayed. Oh no, okay, we'll do it in 3 months' time. Oh no, we'll do it in 6 months' time. Oh no, and we kept on having to work and continue to be motivated to reach that point. That was not easy. When your instructor keeps on telling you, no, actually I'm not going to do the black belt grading, now I'm going to make you work, like we need more work on this, we'll do a prelim test, and you're like, when is it going to happen? I am ready, I've been you're like,
you're reminding me of the film The Karate Kid, the first one, where he pushed through his I'm ready to do this, but he taught him first is to wax on, wax off.
Yes.
That is so iconic.
It's so true. And when you have a good relationship with your instructor, and when you have a good instructor, is when you're able to accept their decision and say, right, anyway, even if I get like impatient and annoyed and that's it, I really want to go forward or next stage, you're like, no, but ultimately he or she knows better. He's got a plan, she's got a plan. I've got to trust. Although it is frustrating, I just have to keep it. And for me, I'm such an impatient person, and I do get things quite quickly, actually.
So, but it's been good for you to do.
But it's
martial
the mastery
arts more on a different level.
Yeah. For me, it's benefited me a lot in terms of like, be patient. Things will happen at the right time. Don't jump the hoops, and the stages. Just wait, it'll come at the right time. And when I took my black belt eventually, I looked back on the probably 2-3 years I had to prepare. I can't say I had to wait, because you don't wait doing nothing. You actually continue practice and training and pushing yourself and learning new things and honing on your skills. When I took my black belt, I was like, I knew my instructor had a plan, obviously, but I saw the result of him making us sway like this group of adults. Yes, I can see now what he was about. Yes, I am so much, because if he had let us take a black belt maybe a year earlier or 6 months earlier, I would not have been the confident black belt I was then, because it would have been a bit too early, and I would have felt like, oh, I feel a bit like a fraud. You know, I'm not completely confident. I am at that level, but at the same time, I really wanted to take it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And
being competitive that you are.
Yeah, exactly. I'm extremely competitive. So to see it, it's like that was such an amazing lesson. I'm so grateful to him to have been tough and not give up on that. That and on his values and his way of doing things. Now when I got my black belt, I was like, yes, definitely, that's it. I am where I'm supposed to be. And from then on, you know, then I took my second dan. Now I'm preparing my third dan. I'm much more relaxed. And also the time taken between gradings is a lot longer.
Yeah.
The more you go. So it used to be when you were just at the beginner, it would be maybe 3, 4, 5 months between gradings. Then it gets midpoint, it gets a bit slower, maybe 6 months between gradings. Then when you reach near your black belt, it can be a whole year, 2 years. But then in between your first dan black belt and your second dan, you've got to wait 2 years. Then between your second dan and your third year,
can be
it's 3 years.
Quite frustrating if you compare.
But no, and at the same time, because there's you want, this is now, it's about mastery of the details. You're very happy to take the time for it. It's kind of, there's also having a black belt is kind of settles you, like, okay, like having your A-levels.
Yeah.
That big thing has happened. No one can take it away from me unless I really mess up and whatever. But it's like, that's it. I've achieved something. A black belt. Everyone recognizes who a black belt is. It's they know it's a certain level of like passing your driving license. But then you can continue to improve and practice and do other things and other levels. You can go, as I said earlier, you can go to university if you wanted, then take a master's, then a PhD. That's up to you. But no one can take away your A-levels. That is something that everybody will recognize as your achievement that allows you to go further if you want to. So, yeah, so there's, that was for the sort of mental benefits, but there are a lot of physical benefits to martial arts. And all of them, whatever you do, it really generally makes your body healthier, because you've got to think about how to be a bit more disciplined about nutrition, rest, recovery. We'll talk about nutrition in a moment. How you recover, your good sleep, taking breaks, so your body, your muscles build up again, and it can be quite an intense physical workout. So you look at your diet, when you should eat and what you should eat, but you also, very importantly, work on your breathing. All of these martial arts have got different ways of regulating breathing.
If
and
anything,
a lot
martial
of them,
arts will help you with your breathing, aren't
definitely, because you learn how to breathe before kicking or before striking. You have to shout. All of the martial arts, like obviously everybody's been watching Cobra Kai and Karate Kid, you've got a ki. We have a ki-up, which is the shout. It can be anything, but it has to come from deep down, deep in your lungs and like in the center part of your body out. It's not just like a little scream from the top of your throat. So it lets the bad air come out. You regenerate the oxygen, and at the same time it focuses your mind. It's got a lot of benefits. So breathing, we had a whole show on breathing, didn't we?
We did.
So by doing proper sort of physical exercise and a proper breathing, the body releases a healthy amount of endorphins, and we feel stronger, fitter, healthier each day. So it really does help you to be a healthier person. Because of that breathing as well, and the shouts, and the fact that it's discipline. Again, it's a martial art, so it improves focus and stillness, which is very useful mentally for your life. And it generally speaking, you find that your general athleticism is improved.
Yeah.
Your body's conditioned in a way that could not have been before. So for instance, depending on martial art you do, some martial arts do not require you to kick very high. It's always just body midsection, or it's the legs, it's the knees that you aim for. Taekwondo is, I might be wrong, but I think it's one of the only martial arts where you actually aim for the head with your leg. So it's a really good way of improving your flexibility, especially at the hip. How often in your life do you get your leg higher than your hip?
Well, we lose it as we get older because we don't use it.
But you go up the steps in your that's going to be on your daily basis. The highest your knee will go is up a step, to go up a step.
Yeah.
So to have to lift your knee higher than your hip and then extend your leg high to head level.
I love that, to see that.
And I've seen it in some women who've come to my classes and they could barely lift their leg higher than the shin. And now, week after week after week of us doing drilling and exercise and practice and not just stretching, but dynamic stretching, all the movement themselves, now they're going well above their knees. Some of them, obviously, now well above their hips, their hip level.
If that doesn't help you, your confidence, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
Especially for women.
Yeah, definitely. To see your body do this, especially when you've had children, you're a bit older, you know. What opportunities do you have? When you're a child, you do climb, jump, crouch, do all sorts of movements. But yeah, past the age of 10-ish, unless you're in a particular sport, you don't really do these things anymore. You don't even sit on the floor, as we mentioned in the past as well.
There's so many things that we don't do, and it's our lifestyle, the way we live in such comfort, that the comfort makes you lose a lot of the movement that you need.
Yeah, exactly. So definitely your general mobility in your joints, in your shoulders.
And so it helps with your flexibility too.
Definitely, absolutely. The other day I had to cry. That's also through Pilates and the work I do separately, additionally to all this, to improve my mobility. I do a lot of work myself, just squatting, not just squatting to get my muscles stronger, but squatting all the way down and going back up.
You're my role model,
so I can keep my alhamdulillah.
Hope hanging around with you will rub off on me, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. I'm sure it will. I'm sure I am already. We're rubbing off a lot on each other, I think. So they are one of our teens, like the two teens actually we talked to earlier. They said that they did also other sports. They like dodgeball and volleyball and rounders, which is like a smaller version of baseball. That I love to hear this because it shows they're doing so many different sports. Their body is really taken in all sorts of different directions. Their joints, the muscle, everything, mind, the proprioception, which is understanding, like being able to move around in your environment. All of this is absolutely brilliant. And martial arts adds that element of balance, because when you kick, if you think about it, most of the time in training you're on one leg and you've got to do a movement with one of the legs lifted. So you strengthen a lot both legs in terms of base legs. And we always say you can't just be good in one side, because naturally we like to kick with the right foot. Say if you kick a football, naturally it will be either the right or the left. Most people, it's like writing from the right hand. Most people we use the right leg to kick and the left leg as a base leg. And in Taekwondo, martial arts, you can't just say, oh, hold on a minute. You know, someone, say you're in a bout, in a fight, in a competition, or in real life fight.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, hold on a minute, stop the guy, the person.
Let me get in a place.
Let me just go into my other side because my other side's stronger. No, it's just not going to happen. So likewise, you can't say, oh, hold on a minute, I need to catch my breath. You can attack me later. I just need... No, it all goes together. So it's great to have other things that you do in your life that help you to be a much more all-rounded person for your body. As you know, as adults, we know, and the body, as you said earlier, the body does, you know, get worse and worse and worse. And
So even if you do not, okay, people think if they do nothing, you will degrade, like your body will lose the muscle if you don't use it. You'll get worse in mobility. So in order to keep what you have, which you don't realize then, you need to do something about it. You need to be physical. You need to do something to increase your muscle, keep the muscle that you have. If you don't do anything, you will lose it. It will get worse. So that's it. You can't just think, oh well, I have a good lifestyle, I'm slim now, I'm okay now. Well, I'm here to tell you that even if you don't do something to keep it, you will lose it.
yeah, definitely.
Okay, so now we have not talked about nutrition yet.
We just
And
touched very briefly on it, didn't we?
And of course, everybody's gonna hear similar stuff again, but we want to make sure we talk about it again because it's something that you just can't get away. If you want to have a strong body to work with you while you are training as a martial artist, you have to have a good diet.
Yeah, I learned it a bit the hard way.
And when I say diet, I mean
way of eating.
a way of eating, and not as in not eating
Yes.
enough. Not,
Yes.
you know what I mean?
Definitely. So go ahead. Tell us.
True practitioners of martial arts are physically and mentally strong. Okay, you guys know this, right? You want to be able to like go, like scream, right? And you won't be able to do it if you're weak, if you don't eat good. So you need to build your muscles. You need to have good strategies to do that, and you need to be able to perform so many sequences. So that all goes back to your mind and your body. Okay, but if your body is not strong, then it weakens your mind. Sophia, do I say anything?
No.
Am I fibbing?
I can only agree.
So let's see some foods that we're gonna remind you you need to have healthy proteins. Okay, healthy proteins like fish, egg, nuts, and seeds. Unprocessed meat.
Unprocessed meat.
Unprocessed.
Yeah.
What kind of meat do you prefer?
I generally I like just chicken breast. I really do like plain chicken breast fried in good oil. Angela, coconut
I was gonna
oil.
say fried.
Yeah,
Sorry.
and, you know,
Yeah.
stir fried
Okay,
with a vegetable. That's kind of my go-to, with maybe a wrap of some sort.
Okay. Well, make sure you're
And lots and lots of greens, lots of
yeah.
salad.
I was gonna
lots of
say
things.
eat your rainbow. So, but I would recommend low starch veggies, mostly the greens. But of course, you have to have your peppers and your mushrooms, and unless you have a reason not to have certain things, you should try and eat your rainbow. You could have fruit too, with vitamins, because you know if you're healthy. Otherwise, you can have those.
I do like my banana before. When there's different types of training, and sometimes I know I'm kind of going forward. There's going to be a bit more intensive. I do like to have a banana before. It really does give that quick energy, but it's not one of those where you feel like all of a sudden like plain sugar. It really does help, and you can see tennis players constantly. I always go back to them, but it's true. They have their pre-digested bananas, a little bit pre-digested. It's really easy. It goes straight into the bloodstream to
Would
give
a
you
good
energy.
snack be a banana with peanut butter wrapped in a gluten-free slice of bread?
Or mixed with Greek yogurt with the protein. That's what I have when I come back. If you want to talk about when we come back
Yeah,
after
we'll talk
training.
about different snacks.
Yeah.
So, but there's some things you should avoid, guys, because not everything that says, "Oh, it's good for you," is good for you.
Yeah.
I would totally I recommend not to have breakfast cereals.
No.
Because they're full of sugar and salt. Believe it or not, look at your box and you'll see what it says on it. It's very prominent. Because the sugar encourages weight gain, and that's not a good thing for a martial artist, right? And it's not something that gives you anything. It doesn't give you anything good, because it will leave you hungry. And another thing that you should avoid for breakfast is instant oats. It's better to go with rolled oats. Of course, it takes longer to make, but with a little planning, it's worth it if you're going to be eating oats. Okay? Lunch and dinner foods to avoid. Pasta is very popular, but it's very refined. So it's better to eat things with high fiber in them. Don't have processed food like canned soup.
Yeah, to go back on pasta,
Yeah.
if you must have pasta, then try to not overcook it. Keep it a bit, like the Italians say, al dente, a little bit, not crunchy, but like a little bit resistant under the tooth, and that is going to be slightly more a slow release sugar than if you overcook it and it's very
But
soft.
do you already know about such a thing called what's it called now? Slow release carbs, that if you cook them you cook pasta and you cook rice and you leave them in the fridge to cool them down, or leave them overnight in the fridge, then when you eat them the next day, they're less likely to cause less insulin reaction in your body.
Which is great because, for instance, in France we have pasta salad. I mean, you find them as well in supermarkets here, but they're generally pasta is overcooked. But and you put less pasta in as well. You've got then all your vegetables. You can add pieces of cheese like cheddar. You can add halloumi. You can add pieces of smoked salmon. All sorts of things in it to make it like and so you have it cold later the day. We have the same with rice. I love both. Rice salad or pasta salad are really, really good.
But they're eaten cold, I think, right?
Yeah, definitely cold.
So that just proves that they use that
without saying it.
Yeah, I was saying that protocol that a lot of people use to make carbs less
high in sugar.
High in sugar. Okay. Anyways, let's move on from that. Definitely what you can have and you should have is protein. Protein is very important for a martial artist. You're breaking down your muscles, you're building muscles, and you need protein. Okay? So make good choices. Try not to have processed meats because of the nitrates and stuff, and lots of unhealthy fats and stuff in it.
So I found things that are a bit more natural. You know, sometimes you have to have things that are practical. We live a very busy lifestyle. So I found, for instance, you now corned beef. You find it in halal shops, butchers, especially Turkish ones. It's fantastic. It's just 100% beef. But it's packed, it's already pre-cooked, and it's packed in a way that just slice it off, and you can just fry it quickly, add it with your eggs, and it's just 100% beef. There's nothing added.
That sounds really
good. Really good, yeah.
Yeah. And that's it. We can talk about drinks. Make sure you drink water. If you are exercising a lot, then make sure you have it with your electrolytes. You can buy the electrolytes to add to your water.
Sometimes you can just put a pinch of salt and a zest of lemon, a little bit squeeze of lemon.
Yeah.
And it's really, really nice. Salt, interestingly, it's like I have my lemon with a bit of salt, and it makes the lemon less acidic. You don't need to add sugar for something acidic to become more palatable. If you add a bit of salt, you will see.
Like a pinch of salt.
Yeah, you'll be surprised.
Avoid all those fizzy drinks and all those caffeinated drinks that give you energy, because that's not real, because it brings you up and it brings you down energy-wise. And don't even have fruit juices. Coffee in the morning is great for energy. Of course, I'm going to tell you, don't have it with sugar. I hope somebody's listening.
Having a shot of coffee an hour before training is quite beneficial, actually.
Yeah.
It helps, obviously, because it opens, all the capillaries. So you've got a better. So it's often said. And also, what I do with my drink, sometimes, for people who don't like to drink just plain water.
Yeah.
Say you don't like lemon, all of this, you think it's Then what you do is you just prepare a herbal tea, like a fruity herbal tea.
There's also something called oolong tea.
Yeah, but a bit of tea, and then you put it in your water with cold water and ice once it's brewed, and you've got your flavored drink.
Alhamdulillah. So there you go. We also want to recommend some snacks, and you were saying
so after training, especially when it's been but generally after all training, I have Greek yogurt, which is a great source of protein, and I love adding a spoonful of peanut butter, and then I use my sugar sweetener replacement xylitol. You use erythritol.
That's very good for your teeth anyway, xylitol.
Exactly, yeah.
You guys should look it up. Anyways, good snacks are cheese sticks, sliced fruit, almonds, or other nuts. I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now, but...
Yeah, but these are kind of the standard things you can find easily, which is what we want.
So, given the numerous foods martial artists cannot eat or should not eat, there are plenty of foods that make up a balanced meal and healthy snack. Give your physical health a boost by consuming nutrient-dense dishes and by staying away from foods in the above list, which I think we mentioned, so I'm not going to repeat.
And processed meat. Processed meat, sorry, and like generally processed food.
So a healthy diet is a good strategy as a martial artist to have. You have to take it serious. It's not like, oh, if I feel like it. You need to use it if you want to have a lot of power in you when you're working, right? It also helps improve your cardiovascular health, your bone and your muscle strength, and you become more flexible. And so that's all I can say, and I'm gonna say about nutrition.
So useful, so beneficial. And you did remind me at some point. I'd kind of forgotten to take my protein, and you told me off. You told me off because I was just not. I was going back home from training, and I was coming without all hot. I was telling you I'm so tired. I've done such an intensive training and da 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 da, and then I was just not even take any protein with it. So you're like, come on, Sofia, you should know better. So there we go. So this is the end of our show. Thank you so much for listening.
I'm glad we actually did a whole show on martial arts.
Yes, really in depth.
Yeah,
it was needed, and we had lovely guests as well. Really enjoyed today.
Do you have any information to remind our listeners?
Yes, indeed. You can email me at saflosana@gmail.com, and you spell it SAFLO SANA. Saflo as in Sofia, Florence, and Sana means health in Latin. I had a doubt all of a sudden. I thought maybe it's Greek.
No, it's not Greek.
So saflosana@gmail.com. If you want to find out about my 2 classes in Manchester, as well as my Pilates classes, and also you can email info@heritageradio.org.uk. If anything has been missed, just go on the BMHC website. You'll have everything there, and Heritage Radio website. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Angela. Lovely advice. Good advice.
Thank you. You too. Love talking about it. Your favorite passion subject.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, have a good week.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.